Hi, happy morning everybody. Welcome to economics class. In previous classes, we people in detail discussed about introduction to microeconomics. In this class, we are going to discuss second chapter of microeconomics analysis, namely theory of consumer behavior. This chapter weightage is 20 marks, so very important. Let's discuss in detail about this chapter. First of all, we want to know the meaning of consumer. Consumer means a person who utilizes the goods and services to satisfy his wants and desires. A person who utilizes the goods and services to satisfy his wants and desires is called as consumer. Consumers are the ultimate users of goods and services. Producers whose aim is fulfill the wants and desires of consumers. So the consumers are different from one to other. In what matter? In their taste, preferences, demand, price, etc. In these matters, they are different from one to other as per their wish. The producers must supply the goods and services to market. Let's discuss. Under that topic, utility. What do you mean by utility? Very important. Utility means wants satisfying capacity of a commodity. Wants satisfying power of a commodity. Each and every commodity and services have their own capacity to satisfy the consumer's wants and desires. Example, fruits have their own capacity to satisfy the consumer wants and desires. Furnitures, textiles, cell phone, wristwatch, bike, car, so on. Even alcohol and cigarette also their own capacity to satisfy the wants and desires of consumers. And let's discuss features of characteristics of the utility. Mainly two we want to note. Number one, utility is a subjective matter. Means a utility belongs to a person. Means own decision. Whether I want to consume this commodity, whether I want to not consume this commodity, it's my personal, so subjective. And number two, the utility will never speak about morality. Means by consumption of this commodity, good to my health. In other hand, by consumption of this commodity, bad to my health. About the good and bad, the utility never speaks. So, second feature, the utility never speak about morality. A point to be noted. There are two types of utility. Number one, total utility, and number two, marginal utility. What do you mean by total utility? Total utility means, yes, the amount of utility that a consumer gain from consuming given amount of commodity in over period of time. I clearly wrote on board. It is amount of utility that a consumer gain from consuming a given amount of a good or commodity in a over period is called as a total utility. Example, 6 apples are given. I will explain. 6 apples are given. By consumption of all 6 apples, what the utility consumer gain, that utility is equal to the total utility, fondly TU. Number 2, marginal utility. What do you mean by marginal utility? Marginal utility means, yes, it is the change in total utility by the consumption of additional unit of a commodity. One additional unit of a commodity, I clearly wrote on board, marginal utility, it is the change in total utility due to consumption of one additional unit of commodity. Additional means extra unit of commodity. Suppose first we consume 6 apples. Now I am adding one more extra, means 7 apples. Means by consumption of a 7th unit of the apple, what utility I gain? That utility is equal to marginal utility. Marginal utility. Let's we take a simple examples to better understandment of total utility and marginal utility. Yes, first we are going to discuss total utility. Total utility. Formula. TU is equals U1 plus U2 plus U3 plus U4 plus ... UN, so on. Point to be noted. Formula to obtain the total utility. U is equals U1 plus U2 plus U3 plus U4, so on is the formula. Yes, example, commodity is apple. How many apples we are going to consume? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Yes, what utility we gain? By the consumption of first unit of apple, 12 units of satisfaction or utility. By the second unit of apple, 18 units of utility. Third unit of apple, 22 units of utility. Fourth, 24 unit of utility. From fifth apple, 24 units of the utility, and 6, 22 units of utility. Yes, let's we add all, we get 122. Means 122 units of utility is equal to total utility. How we obtain? By add all the units of utility by the consumption of 6 units of apples. 6 units of apples means first apple 12, second 18 units of utility, third 22, 4 24, 5 24, 6 22. By adding all, we get the value 122. 122 is equal to total utility. Total utility U1 12, U2 18, U3 24 means 22, U4 24, U5 24, U6 22. Yes, by add we get 122 is equal to TU means total utility is an example. Next, we are going to discuss marginal utility. Marginal utility. Marginal utility. Marginal utility. Marginal utility. Formula. Formula. Yes, MU means marginal utility is equal to TUN minus TUN minus 1. Means total utility by all the units of commodity consumption subtracted by additional unit of the commodity, means utility obtained from the additional unit of the commodity. Let's we take one example. Means here same commodity apple. By the consumption of 6 units of apples, we obtain 122 units of the utility. 122 units of the utility. By the consumption of 7th unit of apple, we get 142 units of utility. From 6 apples, 122. From 7 apples, 142 units of the utility. Let's we apply these values on the MU, means marginal utility. MU is equals TUN means total 142. TUN means minus 22 is equals 20, means 20 is exactly equal to marginal utility. Again, marginal utility We can obtain by using this formula. Mu is equals TUN means the total units of utility obtained by the consumption of all units of the commodity. All means here 7 units of the apples minus TUN minus 1. TUN minus 1 means yes, before additional unit what we are obtaining the utility, that is TUN minus 1. Let's see example. Commodity apple. By the consumption of 6 apples, we obtain 122 units of utility. By increasing the quantity of apples, means from 6 to 7, we obtain 142 units of the utility. Now let's we apply these values on the equation. Mu is equals TUN means total utility from all the consumption of, means from all the units of the commodity consumption, 142 minus, as per equation, before the additional unit what we obtain utility 122, means 142 minus 122 is equals 20, means 20 is equal to marginal utility, means by the consumption of extra unit, by the consumption of additional unit of the commodity, we get 20 units of utility. That 20 units of utility is equal to marginal utility. It's what we call the example and meanings of types of utility. Utility means want satisfying power of goods and services, want satisfying capacity of goods and services. Features: the utility is a subjective. Utility never speak about moral. And types of utility: total utility and marginal utility. Total utility means amount of utility consumer gain from the consuming a given amount of a commodity in a over period. Equation: TU is equals U1 plus U2 plus U3 plus U4, so on. Next, marginal utility means changes in the total utility by the consumption of a additional unit of the commodity. Equation: Mu is equals TUN minus TUN minus 1, as I wrote on the board. Explain clearly with examples. In next class we discuss remaining. Thank you.